In this video, I'm sharing 5 of my favorite idea generating exercises. It's really common to get stuck, dare I say universal. And in every book I've written, even when I felt really confident about what the book premise is and the overall story, I have reached a point of going, now what? Like, what scene comes next? I may know what scene is going to come at the very end, but I don't know what scene comes next. Here are 5 exercises you can do, and I've done them all so I can personally vouch for them. Number 5 is my favorite because I'm saving the best for last. The first one is the open-ended brainstorm. To do this, you're truly going to just very open-mindedly ask, what could happen? Anything goes. Aliens could land, a hurricane could hit, the couple could break up, they could get back together, a whole new character could be introduced. You don't want to judge any of these ideas and you want to list them all out. Don't write anything in your draft. This goes in a separate place, okay? So you're not precious about it or worried that you're committed to something. In fact, I would not go with your first idea. I would go with the idea that when you write it, makes you think, ooh, that could be kind of cool, but feels a little bit scary. That's kind of the sweet spot. Scary, but feels exciting to write. And just remember, I love the mantra, something beats nothing. We want action. We want something to happen. We're not reading a story so that we can see a character just sit there and think. So if you're trying to decide between scenes and one of them is more active and one of them is more passive, I'd go for the more active one. Second exercise is to make a list of the current tensions in the story, the ones that exist already, and pick one of them to agitate. Now, this is similar to the previous brainstorming exercise, but this is all about tension. By tension, I mean, what's going on in the story that the reader's worried about? What conflict have you created that the reader is thinking, how is this going to be resolved? You'll probably have a handful of tensions that you've introduced into your story. If you don't have any tension in your story that you can think of, well, that's good information for you to have because you should have some tension in there. A story needs tension. So if you can't think of any tension, if everything is just harmonious and going well, then you want to go back and add some tension. Number 3 is to sleep or shower on it. Put the question out there, enter a receptive state, and let it come to you when you're not actually sitting in front of your computer or notebook. I kind of think of this as my superpower. As a writer, the longer that I've been writing, the more and more I have used this particular method. I jot down what it is I need to figure out, what this character is worried about, or what's going to happen between characters. And then I just let my subconscious work on it while I'm doing something else. It's called diffuse processing, and it can be a really powerful way of sorting out what's going to come next in your book. Okay, we have my 2 favorite exercises coming up. But before I tell them to you, I just want to thank you for watching this video and tell you that before I had my novels published with HarperCollins, I was a former lawyer trying to publish my first novel that had taken me 6 years to write after dozens of false starts and scratched drafts. And one day when something clicked, it clicked. And 3 books later, I'm now a published author and writing coach. So I'm here to share with you what I learned along my journey so you can streamline your process and write your dream book without all of the trial and error that I went through. So on my channel, you're going to learn how to actually get your book written, how to become a professional writer, and how to do it joyfully, because writing doesn't have to be scary or painful. In fact, it can and should be fun most of the time. So let's make writing fun again and get your best book done together. So please like this video, subscribe to this channel because I have plenty more tips and tricks that I'm excited to share with you, okay? So let's get back to our exercises. Exercise number 4 is to go experience art of some sort. It doesn't have to be visual art in a museum, although it totally could be. You could go to a museum. You could also read a book, read someone else's book that gets you excited and makes you think, I want to do this. They did such an amazing job. I want to do this. Whatever it is, get inspired by others. Sometimes I find people struggle to do this because it feels indulgent or something. They think, well, I have too many other things to do. This feels like luxurious or selfish. But if it is, who cares? First of all, you live once and you're human, so go enjoy yourself. But also, it works. It jostles us out of our slumps. So as a writer, it's a really effective way to get some inspiration. Number 5 is a little bit weird, but it's probably my best tip for figuring out what to write next. And that tip is follow the rising bile sensation. Whenever I write something good, I kind of feel like I'm gonna throw up. And I mean that literally, but I also mean it in the sense that, whether or not you actually feel nauseous when you're nervous, it's a nervousness that usually means you're on something good. You're on something that is a little scary for you to write. It means something to you. You're not quite sure how you're gonna resolve it. It feels a little bit vulnerable. Any of those things can be true to create this nervousness. But that nervousness, I've discovered, is usually a sign that what I'm writing is my better writing. It's good writing that's going to resonate with a reader later. So I've learned to follow it. Follow the rising bile sensation. Okay, so now you know how to come up with ideas for your book, but what if you just don't know how to find time to write your book, or you haven't written a creative word in years, so you don't feel confident? Or maybe you're the opposite. You have an MFA in creative writing, but it sucked all the fun out of it for you, and now you feel paralyzed. Well, as a novelist and writing coach, I've put together a free training for you on how to write your dream book while holding down a full-time job. And in it, I teach you the exact process I've used to write and publish 3 books with HarperCollins. All you have to do to get this free training is apply to my program, the Book Incubator. The application is just 2 questions. You can do it in under 5 minutes, and there's no obligation to join the program, but if you're admitted, I'll send you that free training right away. So click below to get my free training to watch right away, and it will so be worth your time, I promise.